career, but I do want to just touch on something. You mentioned how exciting it is now, and there's all these that you think there's going to be more decisions, obviously, in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a skill you've picked up during the last year and a half? Is it being more comfortable with that uncertainty and being able to be comfortable with these lists of decisions you're going to inevitably have to make? Is that a skill you think you've gotten better at, or is that something you've developed throughout your career?
Well, look, as I think with any career path, you develop a certain level of resilience because you just have experience and you learn new situations that maybe you only thought about hypothetically, but then when you experience them, right, you develop and change. It's sort of what my pediatrician said to me one time. Said I used to give people, parents, lots of advice about their kids until I had my own kids, and then I realized, everybody is really different. So I think, yes, naturally you do develop some resilience to this. And I guess I'd say two things. I think we've all will continue to struggle with uncertainty. It's very unsettling. You sort of feel like you're running in quicksand, right? Because you never know where the next issue is going to be. But I do think that we have developed enough different scenarios and experience now that we kind of go, oh, okay, that's what we do here then. Or, oh, that kind of sounds like that. So let's make it happen this way. Each tour can have new challenges and that we had not expected. And so, yes, I mean, we have a whole new vocabulary, right, that we didn't have a year ago, right? Vaccination cards, antigen, PCR, PCR-RT, PCR-NNA.
Yeah.
I mean, you go through this whole thing, passenger located, all these, we didn't even speak this way a year ago, right? And so, yes, does that sort of hone and develop? It's like anything, do you practice and develop some muscle memory and develop some calluses along the way? Yes, I think that's all true. I also say that in another webinar I attended early in the pandemic from the Harvard Business School was on novel crises. Like, we have a great crisis management team. And I think there were something like 5,000 or 6,000 people on this webinar. And they said, basically, you're about to go into, this was last April of 2020, I'll never forget it. This is a crisis that no one knows an answer to. And I have to say that gave me great strength, because sometimes I feel like, oh, I got to figure out what the answer is. And it's sort of like, well, nobody knows the answer. So we all just have to talk to each other and help each other, because nobody knows the answer to that.
Yeah.
But what the webinar went on to say is that you're going to try things. Some things are going to work, some things aren't going to work, and you're going to learn. And then you're going to repeat. But if you know what your core values are, if you know what you believe in, and you know at the end of the day what you're trying to achieve, and you use that as the litmus test for, okay, what have we learned from this? And is it true to our values? And how do we move forward? You're going to be fine. You're going to shepherd it through. And it really stuck with me, because we have always been, especially as a family company, so core on doing what's right for the guest, making sure we think about the long term, being conservative, building trust, taking care of the brand, taking care of each other. Of course, we had to make tough decisions, because there's only so many dollars in the world, right, that we can work with. But with that reality in place, that guidance did stay our North Star. And I think we've always held true in all of our decisions to our core values. At the end of the day, we will be operating again. And it's most important that the guests and the patrons who have traveled with us before come back and travel with us again and give them reason
Ba ba da ba 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 ba.